The Legend of Jimmy Spoon by Kristiana Gregory, Chapter 25, Homesick. When Old Mother felt strong enough to travel, they rode several days south. First, over desert blackened with lava rocks, then past Fort Hall. Washaki's band crossed through a small mountain range to Tosa Ibi, Soda Springs, where they soaked in steaming hot pools. Jimmy had never enjoyed a bath so much. He rolled and swam in the warm water. When he saw the others undo their braids, he did the same. It felt good to rub his scalp clean of the grease and dust. He listened to their prayers for good health, for peace, and for wisdom. The Great Spirit gives us everything, Washaki explained to Jimmy. He gives us the earth, our mother, and she gives us these pools for healing. We must always give thanks for all things. This made Jimmy think of the church his family attended, a weekly ritual he hated. The benches were hard, the bishop was loud, and the songs were slow. How different the Indians are, he thought. Everything they do is connected to their religion. Every day they worship and praise the Great Spirit, who, Jimmy knew, was God. Well, he sat on the bank to dry himself. Steam rose from his reddened skin. He shook his hair dry. Silently he echoed their prayers. When the band neared Malad Pass, Washaki pointed to a small river. Titsapa, he said, meaning Bear River. It flows into the Great Salt Lake. Jimmy realized they were now close to his former home. He thought about his mother. He thought about Molly and his other sisters. He was surprised that he missed his father, too. Knowing that they were just a few days' ride away churned emotions inside him. Old Mother saw his distress and rode her horse close to his. Dawi, are you sad? I'm remembering my mother. Her eyes filled with tears. Jimmy gazed at the familiar mountain range in the east. He knew her fears and wanted to reassure her. You are a wonderful mother to me, he said. They traveled down the Titsapa and camped 3 days while Washaki sorted through the hides and chose those to be traded. Hanabi left baby Odo in Old Mother's care so she could travel with her husband at a rapid pace. Washaki loaded 12 pack horses for his trip south, then instructed Jimmy, Nampa, and Gamu to take charge of the 64 ponies remaining in camp and to help protect the 8 teepees. You will journey north 4 suns, he told Jimmy, to the head of the Tabitapa. You will wait for my return, maybe 15 sleeps. Jimmy discovered how hard it was to get things going. He had wanted to leave by dawn, but it was quite another matter to pack up 10 saddles and 9 travois, then round up the horses and direct 15 women, 35 children, and 3 elders. When the sun was overhead, Jimmy's camp was finally on its way. They moved slowly north. Jimmy rode next to Old Mother. Why wouldn't Washaki let me go to the Mormon village? He asked her. Old Mother kept her face ahead. Sagebrush spread around them for miles. Clouds boiled white in a turquoise sky. I was afraid the Taibo would see a boy with green eyes and take him away from us. Jimmy thought about this. Do not worry, she said, now looking at him. Washaki said that if you are ever unhappy with us, he will give your ponies and dress you like the brother of a chief. You will be escorted with honor back to your home. Old Mother shifted Odo's cradle board from her back and hung it from the pommel of her saddle. Odo was nearly 2 years old and heavy. Old Mother stroked the child's cheek with her finger. But I pray to the Great Spirit that you will never leave me, Dawi. It would kill me if you should ever go away. Old Mother, I want to stay with you forever, honest. The lines of her face moved up in a smile. As the days grew shorter and the nights colder, they waited for Washaki and Hanabi to return. Jimmy caught fresh trout in the Tobitapa. By sundown, his feet were numb in his wet moccasins, but Old Mother would have a dry pair waiting in the lodge. Always there was a warm fire. Jimmy appreciated her and felt a deep attachment that was mixed with love and the guilt he felt for having deserted his own mother. The more he thought about this, the more he was grateful for Old Mother. He was never hungry. He had the finest, softest clothes he'd ever worn. His health was excellent 2 horses were his. He had friends, and, Jimmy groaned at this, 2 girls adored him. Now Jimmy followed Old Mother's quiet habit. His first words in the morning were the same as his last words at night. Thank you, Great Spirit. And that's the end of chapter 25.